We live in a world that is constantly changing. We're going to need new thinking and innovation at every level to remain competitive. Let us not get weary as we work to ensure a better future for ourselves and our children. Words to live by from the Finance Minister as he and his team continue to implement Jamaica's economic reform program. Stay tuned for highlights of his closing budget presentation. Plus,
I'm Nancy Guillot. Yes, me, I sight. Kubrarat, Tadovali, picnic, y'all.
we switch gears for the Small People Corner and listen to some good old Nancy stories. Hi there, welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry, those and more when we return.
Stop smoking around me! Without cigarettes, the world will be much better. Smoking is bad for your health, and when grown-ups smoke around us, we are breathing in their smoke too.
Cigarette smoking is bad for your health and the health of those around you. Don't smoke around children. A message from the Pan American Health Organization.
Good day, I'm Samantha Allen and this is your JIS News for Friday, May 9. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites has addressed reports that some teachers are making sexual advances to children in schools and that some members of staff are choosing to cover up the incidents. During his post-sectoral press briefing Thursday, Reverend Thwaites said his ministry was moving swiftly to deal with the reports from children's advocate Diane Gordon Harrison.
We have had reports, and where those reports have reached us, we have acted decisively.
The Education Minister was also quick to point out that the profession should not be broad-brushed and insisted that reports had to be investigated before judgment is cast.
I have to say also in the defense of teachers that sometimes malicious people accuse teachers of things which are, when examined, insubstantial. However, any instance such as this, such as reported, alleged, will be dealt with firmly, and I am proud to say that the Jamaica Teachers Association stands shoulder to shoulder with us in that conviction.
The minister also warned that if the appropriate authority from any school knowingly or negligently failed to make that report, he or she was liable under the law. Jamaica's tobacco control measures have been lauded by the World Health Organization, the WHO. The commendation came from the head of the Convention Secretariat of the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, Dr. Hayat Nikogosian. At a function this week, he praised Jamaica for taking a lead role internationally in addressing some tobacco control issues.
I'm very encouraged to see the very rapid progress over the last 1-2 years. That's really encouraging and very strong in some terms. For example, in terms of the size of the health warnings and packages, Jamaica is even now taking the lead in internationally. It's among the very lead countries.
Dr. Nikogosian arrived in the island on Wednesday, May 7 for a 3-day visit to assess Jamaica's position on tobacco control and to provide some guidance for further actions, including the issue of the illicit trade in tobacco. Jamaica's international partners are continuing to work with local authorities to improve security and promote community policing. On Monday, government signed a memorandum of understanding with the United States Agency for International Development to implement the second phase of the Community Empowerment and Transformation Project, COMET. COMET 2, which began in May 2014, will last for 5 years and is being implemented at a cost of $1.4 billion. 25 volatile communities in Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon and St. James will be targeted under the project. National Security Minister Peter Bunting said this initiative fits in well with the ongoing Unite for Change campaign, which seeks to promote peace in communities.
It will facilitate existing programs like COMET 2, sharing information with other programs on the ground and allowing for an even more collaborative approach and improve effectiveness.
The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, the JUTC, has added 73 new Volvo buses from Belgium to its fleet. These include 4 special low-floor buses for an expanded service for the physically challenged, as well as 4 units for the Montego Bay Metro service to support commuters in Trelawney, St. James and Hanover.
This injection of seats this morning will also help us to maintain stability in our daily runout of 400 units in the KMTR, which will be increased to 450 units on the 1st of September this year for the back-to-school activities.
And we are working to make this bus service the equivalent of any in the world.
The 73 units represent the 5th tranche of the 230 buses contracted from VDL in Belgium in 2010 under a €100 million program that's being implemented with the help of the Belgian government. A final delivery is due April next year, when the JUTC will get 17 regular buses and 10 luxury premium coaches. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has asserted that events that bring international athletes to the island are critical to Jamaica's sporting development. Mrs. Simpson Miller said events like last weekend's Jamaica International Invitational were evidence of the strength of brand Jamaica.
And I think if we can continue to have this international invitational on an annual basis, I am sure other countries will want their athletes to come to Jamaica, to participate and to compete alongside our Jamaican athletes. For example, China will be sending persons to look at our coaching system at GC Foster, and they will be sending athletes for training here in Jamaica.
And finally, qualified coaches should be available to every school in Jamaica by 2017 to support the development of the country's student athletes. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaite says these positions may be filled by new or current teachers in the system once they are qualified.
That's our intention, and that's where we're going.
Meanwhile, Sport Minister Natalie Nita Headley is pointing out that it's only through public-private partnerships that greater momentum will be reached in meeting our sporting infrastructure needs.
Such partnerships will be a win-win for all, as private sector concerns will have a chance to associate themselves with the athletic stars while making their brands more attractive to the public at large.
The ministers were speaking at the recent Ministerial Forum at the Business of Sport International Conference. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
We are an administration that listens. A theme that resonated through the Finance Minister's closing budget presentation. Here's a recap.
To help fund the 2014-2015 budget, $2.3 billion will come from a levy on withdrawals from deposit-taking institutions.
We take pride on this side that we are an administration that listens.
And so the government rolled back the tax on withdrawals and replaced it with 2 taxes less burdensome to the average person. The first was a 15% withholding tax on all insurance premiums paid by Jamaican citizens and businesses to foreign companies. But local insurance companies will not have to pay. This move will serve a dual purpose, as tax compliance is expected to increase.
A common tax avoidance scheme is to create a captive insurance company in an offshore jurisdiction. The captive charges the local operating company an insurance premium, which is treated as an expense and is totally deductible from the Jamaican corporation income tax.
The second measure to replace the levy on withdrawals was a general consumption tax GCT on imported services like the hiring of a management company from overseas. The premium tax for life insurance companies and the investment tax for insurance companies have also been withdrawn. Instead, life insurance companies will pay an asset tax of 1% rather than the 0.25% that was previously announced.
This measure is intended to be temporary and will last for 1 year. The potential revenue intake will be approximately $900 million, approximately the same as was intended from the previous measure.
In the meantime, the increase in the special consumption tax SCT on alcohol for the tourism industry will be delayed by a month, pushing it back to about June 22 so that the industry can discuss its implementation. Regarding the 10% reduction in customs duty for petrol and diesel vehicles, pickups are to be included in the mix. Government is not focusing solely on taxation. Through a creative mix of measures under its economic reform program, it is also putting more Jamaicans back to work. A labor force survey by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica indicated that between April 2013 and January 2014, the unemployment rate fell by about 3 percentage points.
And now stands at 13.4%, down from 16.3% in April 2013.
Business and consumer confidence for January to March 2014 have also increased to 57%, up from 45%. A number of firms have also planned to invest more in their businesses so they could take full advantage of future economic opportunities. To top that off, Jamaica received another vote of confidence from the international community, this time from the World Bank, which has approved a country partnership strategy for the country to facilitate growth and more disbursements from the institution. For the modernization of the public sector, a new debt law will be implemented, the public pension system will be reformed, and the customs administration will be improved. There are also plans to create an environment to enable private sector growth.
Activities in this aspect of our cooperation will include the fostering of investments in high potential sectors such as logistics and agriculture, helping to improve the business climate by reducing the time needed for an entrepreneur to register a new business, obtain construction permits and pay taxes.
Under the third support area from the World Bank, social protection programs will be strengthened and the comprehensive framework for disaster and climate change risk management will be finalized. Meanwhile, there is also a plan to deal with arrears in the public sector. One of the measures includes a cap on 90-day arrears as at March 2013.
We are making also direct payments through the Central Treasury Management System to suppliers of goods and services, thereby reducing the risk of the diversion of resources from ministries, departments, and agencies.
All statutory deductions from ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as educational institutions and health authorities, will be transferred directly to Tax Administration Jamaica. In addition, the National Health Fund will take over all public sector pharmacies by the end of 2015.
The value of the assets in the pharmacies at the point of takeover will be used to set off existing arrears for drugs and medical supplies to the NHF.
The government of Jamaica is on a mission, pursuing a number of measures, staying the course, and transforming the Jamaican economy.
If you're gonna take it to the limit, don't fake it, just make it the best and life can be.
Are you 35, live in Jamaica, made a worthwhile contribution to the development of your community or parish? You're eligible for the Governor General's Achievement Award. There is also an award for persons 18 to 24 years with high levels of academic achievement. And if you're 24 to 35 years, you could qualify for the Governor General's Award of Excellence.
It's not based on your personal success. It's based on your outreach, doing something to help other people.
For full details of the criteria, application form, and supporting documents, visit kingshouse.gov.jm or call 927-6424. Drop off documents at King's House, Hope Road, Kingston 6, or give them to the Justice of the Peace or Custos in your parish. Application deadline May 30, 2014. The Governor General's Achievement Awards Program, recognizing excellence since 1991.
Earlier, you saw where changes were made to the tax structure of life insurance companies. No doubt, they have to keep abreast of the latest happenings and adjust accordingly. But what about you? How are you adjusting to the changes in life? Have you been preparing for the unknown?
Picture this. It's a Monday morning and everything is going well. The children were able to reach school on time, you're completing tasks on your to-do list at the office, and everything seems fine and dandy. Then, in just a split second, you feel an excruciating pain in your head. It persists until late evening, and you decide it's time to go to the doctor. Multiple tests reveal that you need surgery to remove a blood clot. What do? Well, that's where insurance comes in. Life is unpredictable, but through insurance, one can be prepared for any eventualities. Insurance is a fairly old concept, but it's simple.
It is a promise to pay for some damage or loss that occurs to somebody or a business for the exchange of a premium, a charge. So you pay me to cover for some unfortunate, unforeseen loss that causes damage, and if it happens, I'll pay out whatever it costs you.
In essence, persons pay a premium or money on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis depending on the arrangements, and if something happens, the insurance company will in turn give you money or assistance to compensate for the loss. Now, even though there are different types of insurance, they fall into 6 main categories: auto, property, liability, life and health, money, and business interruption.
It's about insuring your physical property, your home, your business, equipment or contents in your home or in your business, and the insurance covers you for a multitude of different things, from fire to hurricane to flood, earthquake, etc.
So in the event that your roof was blown off during a hurricane, for example, once your insurance policy makes provision for that, you will be able to replace your roof.
Life insurance is covering you, the person, in case of that unfortunate demise. You buy a life insurance policy and it's supposed to last throughout your life. And then when you do go, the insurance company will pay out to your beneficiary who you stated on the policy.
Those beneficiaries can be your spouse, children, family member, or friend. It gives them a chance to take care of expenses that you would have taken care of if you were alive, while giving them a chance to adequately take care of themselves. Life insurance policies also come with an investment component that allows you to get a sum of money over a specified period. It's a similar thing for health insurance. If you get sick, your insurance provider will ease the burden by paying a part of the doctor's fee or fees associated with pharmaceuticals.
You can insure cash. You have cash in your business, you may be held up, you may lose the cash in transit to the bank, whether it's via an accident or via being held up, and you can insure that as well.
Now, insurance is extremely important. Why? Things happen, and when they do, it can put a major dent in your pocket, eating away savings, cutting down income required to take care of everyday expenses, or just leaving you broke and helpless.
Whether it's a slip and fall and the hotel has to pay for that injury, or it's a fire and you have to rebuild your home or your business, it's important to buy insurance to protect against those things.
Getting an insurance policy is not as difficult as one may think. Jamaica has over 10 insurance companies and scores of brokers and agents. You can access the market by speaking with any of these persons.
So they would be able to guide you from there and tell you what type of coverage is required, give you an application form. It usually involves an application form you complete, and come up with a premium that you're going to pay. And in exchange for that, you'll get a contract that says, if these things happen, we will pay your loss.
Once customers adhere to the terms and conditions outlined in the policy contract, the insurance companies are entitled to compensate customers for any loss they face. Now, cost of living is getting higher, and some may argue that their disposable incomes cannot afford additional demands. How do you choose which insurance policy is important?
Well, the first ones are the ones that are required by law or regulation. You can't avoid those. So you're driving a car and the law says you have to carry a minimum amount of insurance. So even with the rising cost of living, you have to make sure that you're budgeting for your insurance for your car because it's a requirement by law. You want to consider all the eventualities of life and what can displace you and your normal livelihood. And if you can afford to be displaced by a certain amount, then those are policies that you can cut back on. For the ones that you cannot afford to be displaced by, then you need to maintain those policies. Gentleman, let's call him Joe the plumber. He's a primary breadwinner for the family. Wife doesn't work, 2 kids in school, he's supporting the family. He has his life insurance policy. That's something that you don't want to stop paying. You don't want to stop paying that because you have people depending on your income to survive. So before you think about cutting that one, you need to look at other ways in your life that you can save, because that's very important if something should happen to you.
So if Joe the plumber had a $1 million life insurance policy, his family could get that money to continue meeting their basic needs. From time to time, insurance companies are known to give customers the runaround, but there are certain things you can do to minimize the hassle. Keep a checklist. Learn all you can about the claims process, speak to your representative frequently, submit required documentation on time, and stick to the terms and conditions of the contract.
Read the policies. Most companies have specimen policies available, sample policies available. If they're not readily available, if you ask for it, they can make them available to you. Contact a broker, contact an agent, sit with somebody, especially when it gets more complex, to explain issues to you. Make sure you read the policy and ask questions.
So it does pay to insure. Think about the types of insurance that work best for you. Make the sacrifice to pay the necessary premiums. It makes no sense being penny wise and pound foolish.
Lift up your hearts with a smile. Lift up your feet with a dance. Lift up your spirits with a song. It's family time. It's family time. It's family time.
Play is very important to the development of children. It allows them to use their creativity and develop their imagination. Through play, children interact with the world around them. They learn how to work in groups, share and resolve conflicts.
They learn rules and they learn about respecting others and waiting turns and setting their own rules and guidelines for their games.
Set limits, but allow your children to play. It will help them develop the confidence and resilience needed to conquer future challenges.
When I get my lunch money, I don't spend it off all at once. I try my best to save, even if it is just $10. Every mickle make a muckle. I save for my church offering, my sister's birthday gift, and even money to lend mom and dad when they're out of cash. All of us children should adopt the practice. If we try to manage our meager money now, when we start earning big bucks, we'll be able to handle it. Let's help our parents. They're having it hard. Expensive things to buy and little money to spend. Ask only for what's important and save some cash to help with the cost of your favorite toy. I'm Daniel Smith. Remember to start saving.
Once upon a time, Bra Nancy tied Bra Snake on the bamboo, just to make sure Bra Snake never get the reward in the community. Ah boy. Stories involving Bra Nancy are filled with laughter, trickery, and lessons to take us through life. I wonder which story the children will tell us today. Here's Tamara with School Zone.
Bra Nancy is the king of our imagination.
Welcome to another week of School Zone. I'm Tamara. Now, everybody enjoys a good Anansi story. And this week we're joined by the Calabar Infant, Primary and Junior High School students along with their teachers telling us about Anansi and him story.
Anansi and him story by Louise Bennett. Once upon a time, Anansi was a past war woman yard, and him see her grandpa man them. What you help with puss and rat, go and tell your story to we grand picnic them at night time, and them won't forget it. And Nancy say, so every night me we come remember you something about Michelle fi talk. So every night when the old woman them I put them grand picnic to bed, and Nancy them on the wall or the ceiling fi make them remember fi tell him story. When them sleepy and Nancy tie up them face with him rope and wake them up. Them tell them picnic and Nancy story. The picnic tell somebody, that somebody tell and tell. So tell me and all that tell a Nancy story. Is a Nancy make it?
Jack Mandora.
We not choose none.
Hope you enjoyed that performance. Tune in next week for another exciting edition of School Zone.
Greater Nancy is the king of our imagination, bringing stories with the light of the ancient Africa.
That's a wrap on this Friday's edition of Jamaica Magazine. But you may stay in touch with us 24/7. Visit our website, jis.gov.jm, or follow us on Twitter at JIS News. You may also share your thoughts via email, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. I'm Theodore Henry, and this has been Jamaica Magazine. Another program comes your way tomorrow. Take care. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.